My name is Rick. I work with Sigmatic, and I'm the head of growth. The agency that we had before was great at some things, but they were kind of self-proclaimed gurus. So they'd come in and they'd know a lot about what you were talking about and not really willing to test more. So you'd say, hey, on Amazon, we got these offers for bulk buys. It's a slight discount off of what we're looking at, and it looks like incremental volume. And they would blanket say, these don't work. We don't accept them for anyone. Just ignore them. And to me, that's off-putting, and that was kind of endemic towards their strategy as a whole and what they did. When I started with Pilothouse, I was, I think, 6 months into the job and starting to turn things around on Amazon. We had dealt with a little bit of like self-cannibalization just because there was no one really internally paying attention to Amazon. It was kind of a byproduct of success on DTC and retail. Point of me coming in was to help rebuild that into its own growth engine and revenue generation model. When we hired Pilothouse, it was switching out that last agency, getting a new one in, and the goals were kind of simply to triple Amazon. A bit aggressive. From when they joined to today, we've tripled sell-through. I don't celebrate often when we celebrated it, right? So we're flying, and I usually like to go and rebalance agency relationships like every 12 to 18 months. We're not looking at that at all. So I guess that's the indication that you want, right? The Amazon team truly, and from everyone, my CEO, Tara, is my boss, and the people on my team, we look at the Pilothouse Amazon team as a part of our team. We are chatting in Slack, we're making jokes, we're having fun and getting a lot done in the meantime, but they're there for us and we're there for them. And if they need something or something's going on, we could circle up and get whatever they need done. And it does feel like a team in our company, which is rare. Our styles mesh well, where I'm of the mind that I'll never have as much context as the buyers in the platform. So I want to make sure I stay out of their way. And they're cognizant of the fact that they'll never have all the context that I have about the brand or the brand decisions. So then they come and ask my advice for those questions. So it's a nice symbiotic relationship, knowing where the line is drawn. Trust becomes important with any agency because you want to make sure they're doing what you tell them to do in most regards. But in this, it goes a step farther, and you trust them enough to say, here's our objectives and here's the strategy I think we're going to go into, and here's our kind of anchors and milestones and boulders that we want to accomplish on this. And then they can come back and that they're executing against that plan, even when all the details need to be figured out later. You can move fast, you can push hard, you can find growth like we're growing and not have to go through and audit the ad account every day being like, are they spending erratically or whatnot? To the side, not many times I've been able to go to an agency and say, hey, I want to burn down the whole ad account as it's at scale, and let's start over to make it more organized, more clean, and not get a complete blow up or like a call from a partnerships management team. They're like, whoa. What do you mean you want to rebuild tremendous amount of campaigns? But we did, and I think we all agree that it helped us grow because we had more insight, more line of sight into our campaigns performance, what's working well. The filter by naming conventions that made sense, not having legacy or empirical ads in there that were just from old agencies or just things that have been running for years that are kind of hard to figure out what they're targeting or what they're actually including. So we had overlap and whatnot, and we were able to clean that up, start fresh, and push really hard. Improvement, across the board. Workload definitely improved to the trust point with the last agency and some of the last relationships I had. You have to do a lot of legwork to make sure, like, you're just doing weekly checks and balances to make sure everything's good. We're here, I set up a dashboard and there's just things that turn red or green, but that failure is engaged failure, whereas in past agencies it's disengaged, right? People that are hands off the wheel and car crashes because they weren't paying attention. Where if something's going wrong, it's because of they're fully hands on and maybe we took a risk or we took a jump towards something. We're growing, right? And we're in growth mode. So you're constantly taking risks and things don't go as planned, but you want to make sure that the people that you put in the driver's seat are actually hands on the wheel at all times. And that trust level and that ability to step back and say, I know they're driving. We don't know if we're going the right direction right now, but we'll figure that out together as long as someone's fully in that driver's seat. So that alleviates stress and workload across the board by knowing that they're there and actually performing what they say they're doing. It's not common.